Hi, I'm Mike Farrelly from Farrelly Photos, major sponsor of the Auckland Rugby League Women in Leagues competition.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, live from Mountford Park for our second game of the day. Taniwharau taking on Point Chevalier in the under-18s, and I now have head coach of the Taniwharau side, Mike. Well, Mike, first involvement in the competition this year. Of course, you come up from the Waikato. If people are wondering where Taniwharau is, what's it been like being involved so far?
Oh, it's really been an awesome opportunity. We've enjoyed being up here. The amount of teams that we have to play against up here has been a really good eye-opener for the girls and for the club in particular.
Talking about, I guess, the development of women's and girls rugby league, I mean, how important is your involvement to make sure that that keeps growing in your area?
Oh, I've sort of been in the game with the girls since 2015 now. That's when we first started down in the Waikato as a local comp. So my involvement's been, this is my fourth year now with the ladies, with the girls, and each year we've progressed, and this is just another opportunity, like I said.
Travelling pretty nicely on the ladder as well. How do you assess the season to date?
Yeah, no, we've been quite fortunate to be sitting second on the table at the moment. But like those that know the game, the job's not finished. We've still got a bit of a way to go. So we sort of keep our feet on the ground and just focus on what we need to do today in this game today. So, yeah.
Speaking of the game today, what's the game plan and what do you want to see from your side?
Oh, I've always emphasised to our girls that speed of the game has always been my focus on where I want it to be in terms of attack, defence, line speed, and hopefully the girls can pull that off today. I know we've been had a bit of a lull where we had a few weeks off and didn't really get any football into us until like last week. So yeah, I'll just see how the girls go today.
Excellent. All right, Mike, well, on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, thank you for your efforts this year. It's great to have Taniwharau involved, and all the very best today.
Yeah, thanks for that opportunity, and thanks to Auckland Rugby League for everything they've gone and done to help us be in this position.
Excellent. All the best. Cheers.
Thank you.
All right, now joined by Aki Michaels, head coach of the Point Chevalier team. Well, the season so far, you're sitting, I guess, probably down the other end of the ladder than you want to, but how do you assess how things are going?
So far, it just comes down to girls' attitude and things like that, but it's a good learning curve for them at the same time, and it's just all about development for these girls. So it's a hit and miss, but a lot of hits so far, which is the camaraderie that they're having. So for me, it's not so much of a loss at all coming at the bottom, but that's okay. It's all about learning. So it's good.
Now you coach a Point Chevalier team but play in a Richmond team. How do you handle the rivalry there?
It's yeah, it's a bit of a tease, but you know, it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. Just a bit of banter, but yeah, Richmond, Richmond's side I play for the girls, and I mean for the girls it's good for them to come down and watch and get their whole exposure sort of thing for the girls to see women's league, and that so they know, oh, this is the team that I want to play for come in the future. So it's good for them to know the direction they can head into. So it's cool.
Now, you're a long-time player yourself. There was nothing like this around when you came up through the grades. I mean, from your point of view, how cool is it that girls can now play from, you know, mini mods right through to senior women?
It's a great opportunity for these girls. Like you said, we didn't have that back in our days. If we did, I mean, everybody would be in there. But I think the girls should really grab it with two hands and go for it. This opens pathways for them. So I think they should really grab it with two hands and just run with it. They got nothing to lose, so they might as well just grab it and go for it. Yeah.
Now, the girls featuring on the live stream today, what was the feeling in the sheds? Was it nerves or excitement?
I think more nerves at the same time excitement because of the cameras. But yeah, it comes with it. You know, it comes with it having the cameras around for the girls. They just got to learn to go with it. So just the nerves, and I think at the same time just the feeling of going out there and play for that strip that they're wearing. So.
Excellent. Right, Aki, thank you very much for joining us. The teams are making their way to the field behind us, so all the very best today.
Thank you, and we'll see you out there.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Not far from kick-off now, and I think we'll quickly run you through the team list if we can before kick-off. See on screen there, Taniwharau. So starting with the Point Chevalier side, and the players to watch out for in this one. Watch for the captain Skips, Falilo Malio, who has brothers playing in the Fox Championship. And it's a fairly new team, this Point Chevalier side, and doing their best this year. They will be coached by Aki Michaels, of course, and we'll have a quick look at the Taniwharau side and how they will take the field. And for them, of course, come up from the Waikato, Honor Wilson will captain the side. And watch for a couple of other names in that outfit as well. And they'll be looking forward to this one, no doubt, looking to take it to the Aucklanders. So underway. And Taniwharau with first use of the football. Our second game of the day, and Troy, I know the scoreline was a little lopsided, but a really enjoyable game to kick off the action today.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was played in great spirits, and just we see there that tackle probably a little high. Yeah, wants to keep it down. Yeah, absolutely, and it's always good to be able to get involved with all aspects of the rugby league. But today, under 16s curtain raiser, following by the under 18s now, Taniwharau and Point Chevalier Pirates on screen. And a beautiful day down here at Melford Park. So if you're in the area, come down and join us and catch some of the next generation of rugby league stars coming through the grades. So Taniwharau off a tap restart there, good strong carry. And we see them now shifting it to the right edge.
Nice ball movement here from Taniwharau and straight through. That's a great carry, but an equally good covering tackle. And getting there was Whanonga to save a try. Right side they come now, Taniwharau. Numbers on the right, try time on the right.
Fantastic.
And opening the scoring is Michaela Neal in the far right corner. And just like that, Taniwharau off to a flyer.
So as we see the Mike Farrelly photos action replay here, right up close in the screen, held that ball up nice. Fantastic line, and the winger just squeezed through there on that edge, and 4 points. Try, and Taniwharau are on the board. All the fans in the Waikato will be loving that, Corey.
Yes, indeed, and a big shout out to the Waikato Rugby League community page. Connor Morgan doing some wonderful stuff down there. Connor makes the effort to live stream a selected game each week. He does this at his own cost using his own time. So I do want to give a big shout out to them for all the work they're doing down there. Wonderful stuff, and it's great to see a bit of a link up between both Auckland and Waikato as well. Of course, we're so close to each other, it makes sense to work together. So conversion to come. And it's a difficult one first up, right up against the sideline.
Not a bad effort.
And just away and short to the left. So it remains Taniwharau 4, Point Chevalier 0. And how good is it having Taniwharau involved in this competition? And of course, from the men's point of view, some really good names to come through that club over previous years. Lance Hohaya, probably the pick of the bunch, the Huntley Hurricane. Certainly one of my favourite players growing up. And of course, he was really at the front and centre of that Warriors' success through there. Played in 2 grand finals for the club. And of course, Wairangi Kopu as well, who we've had a little bit to do with. We called some games with him last year as well. All right, back underway. Point Chevalier now with their first use of the football. And just on the ladder coming into this one, well, Taniwharau, they sit second on the table. Point Chevalier 7th. Pirates with just the 2 wins to their name so far, looking to add to that. That's well brought in that time from the captain, Maya Skips. Great last name for a captain, Skips the skipper. Centre field now, Point Chevalier work it forward, and that's a good strong carry from Tommy, who was taken down there, 45 out from the line, trailing by 4 after an early try to Taniwharau, but they can hit back here. Point Chevalier darting across field nice now, looking for a gap with Skips. Not one there on this occasion. Nice quick play of the ball though. Back towards the middle they come, get away to a kick, which is fielded beautifully at the back, and now Taniwharau bring the football back.
Strong left stepper too. She stepped a couple of times there coming back. Kept the defenders guessing.
Michaela Neal, the try scorer from earlier. She's got a cousin in the team as well. Ngā Moko Totoriwa is her cousin. So a bit of a family connection in the Taniwharau team. And speaking to Coach Mike Wilson, he said he's discovered he's got nieces he didn't even know he had scattered throughout this team. Big shout out to Mike as well for the wonderful work he's doing, carting players back and forwards up the Waikato Expressway each week. All right, ball comes loose, and that'll be a knock-on. So Point Chevalier to pack down a scrum here, about 40 metres off the line.
Yeah, just touching on that, that's a heroic effort for Mike, to bring full squad up and down the expressway, and just goes to show, how much love there is for rugby league around the country.
Yep, and I'll add to that, I'm sure there's a few hero mum and dads as well
absolutely.
Who are packing cars and lunches and all of that good stuff, and it's really great, and I'm sure in the coming years these girls will certainly reap the rewards of regular competition, and hopefully we see that flow through for Waikato Bay as well, as we see a break through the middle, but Taniwharau scramble nicely. Now rushing to dummy half, and they're going to come out to the left edge. Here's Skips dancing, and basketball passes her way back, sort of a netball pass actually there at the death.
Good support play though. Had somebody there to pass to, and that's the main thing. Looking for a quick play the ball here.
And a penalty.
Yeah.
Well, it's even better perhaps, although, hang on, have we had a change of call here? An interesting signal from referee Priest. I'm not sure exactly what's gone on there, but it's Point Chevalier ball. Strong carry through the middle, gets rid of one, and now right in front of the SAS uprights. A great chance here for Point Chevalier to hit back. 14 to play, left side they're going to come. Charging carry from the 12, but the ball's come loose. Turnover football, and now Taniwharau looking to counter. It's our try scorer from earlier, Kayla Neal. One out running, shakes out of the first one, which was a bit of a high shot, gets a nice offload away though, and looming in support. They're 40 metres off their line now, Taniwharau looking to get things moving. Meti is the dummy half. Attacking the left edge now, space here for Taniwharau. Can the Point Chevalier cover get there? It comes back inside, that's nice play, was it Ford? Play on the call from referee Priest. Quick play of the ball as well for Taniwharau. They're 15 out from the line. Set heavy to the right now. They're going to have to go that way, you would think.
Oh,
or a shot.
Good hands.
Troubles that time. And the play ends there. So it breaks down, but lovely play from Taniwharau. Of course, this grade, one of the grades sort of readjusted to accommodate the under-12. So after piloting 15s and 17s grades in 2017, the ARL added an under-13 competition last year and now reshuffled it all. So there's an under-12s and under-18s in there, along with 14s and 16s. A great opportunity for girls to play rugby league right through now from mini-mods to senior women. Of course, we're adding the girls to the region of origin this year as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And that's coming up.
I think there was about 150 girls turned out to
wow.
trial for that, so impressive stuff, and a shout out to the Auckland Rugby League Coaching and Development Department as well for their work in that particular sector. Point Chevalier now rucking the ball out. Neti calling cover across defensively. Point Chevalier determined to work it through the middle of the park for now. They do have a couple of impressive forwards, and there's a nice offload, and now it's happening down the right-hand side. Cannonball type tackle down low, but the Pirates are still going here. Great cover defence. That may have been Honor Wilson looming in support. Now, balls come loose there. Who's the knock-on from, though?
Going with the 6, just she hopped out from the dummy half there.
So
lost control of it.
Taniwharau ball right on halfway.
Massive crowd down here today, Corey. You know, not just in the TV screen there that we can see on the far side of the field, but all around us in the car park and over here on the club side. Just, you know, real great support.
It's wonderful to see, and sort of a recurring theme with the women's grade as well, isn't it? Whenever we live stream a women's match, the crowd turnout is fantastic. It's well supported, and really the whole family gets involved. The cool thing about being on Sunday, I guess, there's not other games clashing. So Taniwharau with another use of the football after that early try. It's really evened out quite nicely now, and Point Chevalier more than holding their own in this one, despite the mismatch on the ladder that it would initially appear. Taniwharau now go 5 inside attacking territory. Right side now come Taniwharau. Strong carry forward, and that's the number 8, Hill Moana, part of the Wakaama silver medalist team. A couple of her teammates involved in that one as well. They come back inside now and play in the 15. This is Kopanika.
Great offload.
Left side come Taniwharau. Numbers on the offering here. Can they execute it? Little step back inside. It's nice stuff from Taniwharau. They're in for their second. Lovely play. Hot stepping down the left-hand side. And the try scorer in the end is Pihama Maipi Hill, who just did really well that time. Could have pinned the ears back down the left-hand side. Came back infield and found a gap.
Well, at the end of that Fairly Photos action replay, found her out there on the left edge. Stepped one cleanly. Had another one to go, just basically split those two and clear run to the line. And great try as she slides in for a 4-pointer. Taniwharau, more points on the board.
If that last name sounds familiar to you, she is a niece of Tiarahi Maipi, who of course hosts a lot of the rugby league content we see on Sky TV. I was lucky enough to tour the UK with Tiarahi when he was with the Kiwis back in 2016. So
didn't know he played.
I will add, he was the media manager on that tour.
No, we've done a wee bit with him with Marry Television in the earlier stages of ARL live streaming. You know, sort of coming to the kick to come. But yeah, no, great effort and some great angles now.
So conversion to come, 8 minutes or 9 minutes really to play. Conversion from in front, which is put over, and it's Taniwharau who lead 10 points to 0 over Point Chevalier here in the Fairly Photos girls under 18s grade.
And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, all the action replays along with the footage is going to be available on the ARL TV YouTube website, and you can get to that information via the www.aucklandleague.co.nz and click through from there. And I dare say there'll be a few action replays, Corey, today that'll be absolutely thrashed down there in the Waikato.
Yeah, well, we put the link into the Waikato Rugby League community group, and certainly plenty of attention down there, and I think they're really looking forward to seeing the girls in action. Of course, this Taniwharau team, I'm guessing, probably made up of players from other clubs down there as well. They've sort of come together to make a Waikato Invitational as such. So ball collected eventually by Point Chevalier and returned via Leilani Katau.
Great comms from the referee. Ran into a wall there.
Yeah, and they did that well, didn't they? Kept together and made sure there was no gap on the offering there. Point Chevalier. Now here's a good carry. Wonderful carry from Gloria Whanonga. They're just short of halfway now. Point Chevalier looking to get things going after conceding 2 tries early on.
Good ankle tackle there.
45 off the line. Skips jumps out. Just about goes through a little gap there, Maya Skips. Nini will kick. It's a high one and a real tester here, but beautifully taken by Honor Wilson, the captain. And really, right now, I know Taniwharau have scored 2 tries, but it's probably off their defence that they've sort of, I guess, established themselves in this arm wrestle. Their line speed's really good, and the communication between each other as well.
Yeah, comms on both teams out. There's a lot of energy around that, and there's certainly, you know, lots of chat going on. Taniwharau, however, look really dangerous when they shifted to their left-hand edge. They got a lot of strike out there, and they're on the left edge again. Here we go.
Nice movement here. Ball goes to ground, though, and Point Chevalier just gives them that time to readjust. Neil ends up centering it. She's a Waikato 17s representative, along with a number of her teammates. Centre field they come now. Will they get to a kick? Yes, they will, and it's a nice one. And importantly, the chase is good from Taniwharau. A little bit of pressure on at the back here, although it gets cleaned up by Gloria Whanonga, who brings it back to the 20. The ball's come loose. Neil's picked it up. I think it's Neil. 9 metres out from the line now, Taniwharau. In fact, it's the 12, Pihama Maipi Hill. They jump out. They've got numbers here. Taniwharau are in again. Too easy. And I think that's a second try for Pihama Maipi Hill in the far left corner. Referee points to the spot and confirms it. 5.5 to go, and Taniwharau at a third.
So on the Farrelly Photos action replay here, we see the back end of the try, and really Corey pointed to it early. Defense is what created this one. They, hit the attacking player really hard. The ball bobbled. They managed to swoop on it, turn it around, and with a quick play, the ball bang, they'd gone. And now you see 4 points over on the far edge there as we wait for the kick to come. And what a beautiful day it is for rugby league here at Mountford Park.
So as we wait for the kick to come, in this competition, well, fairly well dominated by Waikato teams this year. Taniwharau is sitting second, Hukanui's in third, and giving the Aucklanders something to really worry about come playoff time. So let's hope we see both of those two teams in there, and I guess the usual suspects in and around there as well, the clubs who have really embraced women's rugby league here in Auckland.
Yeah, and big hats off too, to be coming up from the Waikato to be able to play, games away like they do. The travel doesn't seem to bother them any. And what's the bet? They've got a guitar on the team bus.
4.5 to play, conversion to come. It's Taniwharau who lead by 14. Well, it was on target, but it's short, so it will remain 14 points to 0 here in the Farrelly Photos Girls Under-18s grades. This is our second game of the day, and if you're tuning in for both, trust you're enjoying the coverage.
So Taniwharau getting ready to kick off here, and points all in position just off the TV screen at the moment. Probably trying to get a bit of a breather there, Corey, because there's been a bit of pressure on. It's been played at a great pace as well.
It has. A high quality game so far. Let's hope that continues. Scooping out now is Kautai. Tackled beautifully on a low tackle. Well, you don't see too many tackles like that these days. take the legs, and the player follows. Ball loose. Meti is putting all sorts of pressure on them. Put himself about nicely in defence. Point Chevalier now comes centre field. Back in through the middle of the park, and here's a strong carry, but nicely tackled.
Contact.
And it was Rangi Toka who made the tackle. Now working it up to the right edge. Whanonga straightens. And they're 45 out from the line now, Point Chevalier. What can they put together as this set comes towards the back end? Look at Taniwharau's line speed, though. They're up and sitting upon them right now. And as a result, there's no real chance to generate any momentum or second phase here for Point Chevalier. Here's a high kick, which will be a tester for River Meti. She says a test. No way. I'll take that one easily. And then gets ragdolled to ground by Meadow Schaaf.
I can't just make out the numbers. Is that the number 1, the fullback?
It is a little hard to pick up the numbers. They're quite small on the Taniwharau shirts. Can tell you that one's Michaela Neal, our first try scorer in the game. Here's a centralising run with a fend and a bump, and up over halfway goes Hill Moana. North Island District's best forward in 2019, she was voted. And Dag Tame captains the Taniwharau reserves as well through the middle. That's brilliant work from Kawe Mori. They're not far out now, Taniwharau, and they've got numbers looming on the right-hand side. The ball movement's there. There's a break. 1, 2. Neil now isolated. Neil's going to go for her second. She'll run it around and centre it.
Ooh. Big finish, still smiling. Bounces up to her feet.
Points to the spot. The try has been confirmed. Now, that probably looked a little bit cynical there, but I think it was a slip more than a cheap shot there from the Point Chevalier player. Both players got up laughing, so it's all good.
The Fairley Photos action replay will soon show us. So nice little float out to the winger there, and had a little bit of work to do, but managed to get round and looked like she was going to go down there to dot down, but carried it into the end goal and down on her feet. Yeah, probably a little late in getting there. However, 4 points beneath the post, and we wait for the kick to come.
Strong candidate for an 8-point try there, perhaps, the foul play in the act.
Well, I'm sure our Waikato fans would be sending a couple of messages through on our Facebook or the YouTube site at the moment. You get to that through www.aucklandleague.co.nz. And without giving her the commentary's curse, we'd expect her to just ease this one over.
Honor Wilson does just that, and Taniwharau out to a 20-0 lead, and we're just about done for the first half action here at Mountford Park. And not hard to see why this team's sitting second on the ladder. Very, very classy.
They've been very impressive. They've managed to, throw the ball from coast to coast. They've got some really good class out on that left-hand edge, haven't they? Been impressed with the fullback as well. You're going to have to give me the number 1.
Yeah, it's River Meti, who has just been everywhere defensively as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep, she's been all over the park. And half-time, that is half-time, ladies and gentlemen.
So we go to Oranges with Taniwharau up 20 points to 0 over Point Chevalier. We'll take a very short break to have a little drink and catch our breath before we resume with the second half action here from Mountford Park in Manurewa. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies if you heard some of my interference there. We had the referees in front of us there having a chat. But we are back into it now and ready to get back underway for the second half action here. And it's Taniwharau travelling nicely in this game so far. Really haven't put a foot wrong. Point Chevalier, well, they've looked good through the middle of the park, but just really struggling to make their way through a very enthusiastic Taniwharau defensive line. And at this stage, Taniwharau looking odds-on to pick up another victory as they march towards the finals. About to welcome Troy Hardy back into the commentary booth. But a big thank you for joining us today. It's Corey Rosser in commentary as always, with Troy Hardy. And Troy, it's a beautiful day for rugby league, which you've touched on, and just a wonderful celebration of the women's game down here today. And we've been lucky enough to call some of these games as curtain raisers this year as well. It's generally pretty good football, isn't it, the nine-a-side football, and some of the skill from the girls very impressive. Yeah, today, mate, I've been impressed with the speed on both games. They've certainly managed to get the ball around the park really, really well. And not just from my point of view, talking to the referees, especially after the first one, a couple of them were blowing hard and they couldn't believe how fast it was all travelling around the park as well. So Aki Michaels there on screen, just giving her team a little team talk. Of course, Aki, a long-time player with the Richmond Roses team. I did put it to her in the pre-match. How is it that you end up coaching Point Chevalier and playing for Richmond? How does that go down? But really great to see these players, whether they be active or former players, still involved. And I know for them it's a real buzz to see these girls able to play at this age. There was nothing like this around when they were younger, so I know it's certainly a real buzz for them to be here seeing these girls getting these opportunities. And I think they know as well that the real benefits to come from this are probably 5 or 10 years down the track, absolutely, when we see just a different level of female rugby league play. And you sort of already touched on it throughout today's commentary, where some of the young ones that have already come through and are now playing in the premiership and and doing exceptionally well. So the next generation is on screen now for everyone to enjoy. So the teams making their way back to the field now. Taniwharau have broken and Point Chevalier are about to do so. A couple of interesting family links throughout these teams. Now, Kopa Nikau, she's a relation of Tāwara, one of Huntly's finest. And a shout out to Tāwara as well. And Kopa, a fair player herself, a New Zealand Māori under-16s representative. And we've also got the niece of our very own Mary Pussy on the field today, Jordan Pussy. So, Mary, if you're watching from home... I just had the quick opportunity to be able to talk to Mary as she was watching the live stream, and I couldn't understand anything she was saying, Corey, because she was just so full of joy, and she was, through the tears of joy. I said, I can't barely talk to you, Mary. I'll have to ring you back after the match. She must have had a big box of tissues too, because she just couldn't help herself from crying. So Taniwharau to get us back underway. Point Chevalier to run it towards the road end here at Mountford Park. It's fielded by Point Chevalier, who get back into it. And I guess from a Pirates point of view, Troy, they actually haven't looked that bad, have they? They just probably need to find a way to generate a bit more consistent go forward. Yeah, absolutely. And looking to be, brutally fair, the tries that Taniwharau have constructed, they've shown pace, they've shown skill, and they've managed to move the Pirates around the field. So they're a pretty well drilled side. As that action's right down in front of us now. Just staying in the field of play there, and flat ball. Yeah, but all good according to the match officials. This is Chantal Val. Reminder on the ladder, Point Chevalier head into this one 7th. They've played 10, won 2 games so far. Nice little play at the line, and Whanonga got cleaned out there. And is there going to be a penalty to come for it? Penalty here. Yep, it's a great call from our referee on the spot. Yeah, it's great to see the Taniwharau captain there just having a word, having a question, and we have a discussion around that, just buying a bit of time. So we look for a big kick for touch here. And did it make it? Oh, we just missed that. Just made it. Interesting you point out the questioning of the referee there. Of course, it's a tactic that we see so often, even if the player knows exactly what's going on. Absolutely. Have a quick chat, buy yourself 10 seconds to let your line reset. And in rugby league, I think we call that wonderful leadership. There you go. I'm sure the referees will appreciate me pointing that out. Point Chevalier back underway. This is Val. The Pirates going to be pressing hard here. 12 out from the line. Whanonga, the dummy half. She's been at the centre of everything. And unfortunately, it just breaks down. It was Skips who handed off to Apolu. And the ball is spilt. So Taniwharau survived that one, and we'll pack down a scrum. We've got about 17 and a half minutes to go, and it is the team from the Waikato well in control here over the Point Chevalier Pirates.
Yeah, and they had a great opportunity there to mount some pressure. Definitely a coach killer. She'll be pulling her hair out on that one, because I think they're only not even at the second completed tackle there, as we see Taniwharau feed the scrum, and on the grind outside the 10 now, heading towards the 20.
Wilson, the dummy half, to Meti. Space on the right edge, skipping out of one. Look out, she's got a support player on her outside if she needs it. Didn't eventuate that way. 40 out from the line. Point Chevalier is struggling to get back, and Taniwharau are looking for the space. Here's Wilson, it is, who takes the ball forward. Captain of the team, she's had a fine game. They're 20 out from the line now. They're going to work it back through the middle of the park via Green.
Good strong carry too. Brought in 3 defenders there. Something's on.
Wilson. Quick hands out to Hilmoana. Is it play on? Yes, it is. It's picked up, and they'll keep going here, Taniwharau. Pihama might be Hill. 2 tries already for her today. Sure, she'd love a hat-trick. Left side they come now, Taniwharau. Numbers there. Won't need numbers. Will crash over. And it is Nāmoko Totoriwa who scores it, I think. The number 13 for Taniwharau, and in the end, was bound to happen. Just caught Point Chevalier stretch for numbers.
And just some finishing off there on the Farrelly Photos action replay as she went over. I think that came off the back of wonderful momentum. You know, they basically had the big roll-on heading down there, and Point Chevalier Pirates were trying to scramble as best they could on the line. But to no avail. Taniwharau in for 4 points. And they're looking like $1 million at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they are indeed, and my apologies if we got the ID wrong on that one. There was bodies around it. It was hard to make out. Quite small numbers on the Taniwharau jersey. It may have been Honor Wilson that scored it. Here we go. Our camera crew with a look, and no, I think we got that one right. Looks like Totoriwa to me, who goes over for the try. It's going to be Honor Wilson to attempt the conversion. And Totoriwa's got an interesting family link as well. Her father is actually the spokesman for King Tuheitia, so there you go. Push to the left, and we remain Taniwharau 24, Point Chevalier 0, 15 to play here at Mountford Park.
Yep, and as we get ready now to head back for the reset. And as I said earlier, you know, if you're after all of the footage of today's matches, they will be available on the Auckland Rugby League YouTube channel. And you can get to that through www.aucklandleague.co.nz. So Taniwharau ready to tee up again. Something they've done a wee bit today, Corey.
Yeah, getting some restart practice in. But look, they'll be hunting more points here, Taniwharau. They know that the big games that have come here, and will no doubt want to start generating some real momentum heading into the back end of the season. As we see
Great
that kick bounce into touch, and that's clever. So Taniwharau to now get the handover, and we'll start this set not much more than 20 out from the line. A golden opportunity to further grow this lead.
Yeah, Pirates are looking for a couple of Pirates to pack the scrum here, and one's coming in now.
I'm amazed we escaped that without a pirate pun. Felt ready-made.
I was going to hook in, but I thought better not.
Strong carry. Hill Moana. Centre field. Options left and right for Taniwharau. Wilson is the dummy half. Jumps out, engages, and then hands off, and they'll do well to stop them here. Point Chevalier. Good defence in the end. Right up against the line. 13 and a half to play. Wilson clears the ruck. There's space there, and they will score. Leah Reese, Rangitoka, goes over. It all came off the kickoff. They got possession back after finding touch. And then here, nice looping ball from Wilson at dummy half. And Rangitoka puts a little fend on. Over they go for another one. Takes them out to a 28-point lead. Kick to come. Chance to make it 30 as we head into the final 10 minutes.
Yeah, Taniwharau having a great day out in Auckland today. And I'd like to welcome all the whānau who've been able to click online and watch your team do the business here at Melford Park.
So Wilson to attempt the conversion. Good basketballer as well, Wilson. NZ Koro rep in 2017. Kick is good. Flags are up, and Taniwharau lead by 30. And for those of us maybe from a generation or two earlier, Wilson is also the granddaughter of Bill Whitehead, of course, New Zealand Rugby League life member, a bit of a legend.
Absolutely. And Bill manages to send a wee bit of content through to the old famous Carlo Park diehard site, and is certainly a man who's passionate around rugby league for certain. They say the Taniwharau team will be pressing their coach for a free McDonald's on the way home, or free something, I'm certain.
Yeah, KFC at the Bombay's there now as well. Sport for choice.
Oh, that's gone out.
Out on the full this time.
Yeah.
Interrupt the fast food chat to resume the rugby league action. So Point Chevalier get a bit of a reprieve here. And
absolutely, get a Subway instead.
So Skip's going out to halfway to get us back into it. So the penalty on halfway for a kick out on the full. Here we go. Look at Taniwharau. Straight up.
Line speed.
Yep. Very committed. Two middle forwards there involved. Now off the back fence. This is the 12, Karis Falilua Malio, who pops the ball out the back. It's cleaned up by Whanonga.
Look at the chase.
Who is going across field looking for a chance. And it does get out there eventually, but Taniwharau's scramble is just too good. Back through the middle.
Oh.
Going nowhere. 35 out from the line now, Point Chevalier. 10 to play. It's Taniwharau who lead by 30. Skips, jumps out of dummy half, goes down the short side. Will kick. Now she was taken out. Will that go back for a penalty? Wilson picks it up. It's going to be play on, although the ball's come loose. Point Chevalier on it.
Oh.
And I think over for a try. Let's see.
He's blowing the whistle in the background.
Okay, fair enough. There was certainly a hand in there that jarred the ball free. So hand over the call, and well reffed by our official, who was, I think, now counselling some of the players who were probably a little hard done by after that one.
Well, if I slow that down, it could just about be a new dance move there for the ARL referees. And look, and to be fair, Pirates, with the amount of time that's left on the clock and the score, it's probably now time to be a wee bit more cavalier and start, throwing the ball around, taking opportunities. Getting ready to pack in.
Oh, dropped off the
rare
scrum.
mistake.
And handover, so a really good chance here for Point Chevalier to find some sort of positive on the scoreboard at least. You mentioned before, they haven't played badly at all, but this Taniwharau team just doing all the little things right. And again, I go back to the defence. I know there's 30 points on the scoreboard, but it's all started with their defence. They scored one try directly off that.
Yep.
A wonderful kick chase. But a chance now for Point Chevalier. 9 to play. Skips with the feed. And we'll go straight out to the left edge now. Whanonga, hands out now. Is that play on? It's not going to matter. Taniwharau have recovered it.
Ooh. Just about split the line there. Great run. Up to the 30.
The team from the Waikato hunting more points. Second on the ladder. Perhaps got their eyes on a minor premiership. There's a heck of a carry through the middle, and probably 20 metres gained there and counting. Plenty of that post contact as well. Smack bam on halfway. Wilson, the dummy half, jumps out, hands off, and then through the middle. But you can credit that to the line speed, I think, of Point Chevalier that time. Got up in the face and forced the error. Now Point Chevalier go running. Out of dummy half. Here's a really good carry. And still going as well. That's Rona Apulu.
Showing a turn of speed there.
35 out from the line. Left edge they come. Skips. Desperate ankle tap from Taniwharau to deny Tommy. Short side they come again. Val taking the ground.
Looking for a bit of shape here, the Pirates on the right.
They're right up against the line. Penalty. Crept up inside the 10 that time, I think. So back-to-back sets coming up for Point Chev. And another error on play one. Well, disappointing. They've had their chances to get on the scoreboard here at Point Chevalier, but untimely errors, and another one there. Taniwharau say thank you very much, we'll go again. Has evened out a fair bit in the second half, though, credit where it's due for Point Chevalier. Taniwharau now getting a quick play of the ball and doing really well to bring that one in that time, and then carry to go with it as well.
Still
and
rolling.
It's Pihama Maipi Hill, who's had a wow of a game, a couple of tries, some really good carries, and that one there, another example of it. Good contact. That time leading the charge was Grace Nini.
Oh, yeah, close, no cigar. Yeah, away we go. Oh!
That was
Just rolling
huge.
down the middle. That was a massive hit.
Contact that time. Wilson turns back to
Nice
the
drop.
inside. A lovely line into open space. There's cover coming from Point Chevalier. It's going to arrive too late. And Victoria Rose Green will score under the post. What a line that was. The ball was wonderful as well. And Taniwharau in for another one. This will make for nice viewing on the replay. What a line.
As we see the ball dropped on the inside, beautifully done. Just hit the line at pace. And let me tell you, prop forwards, big front rowers, we love this stuff. And underneath the posts, eh? Even the big guys can get the tries there, Corey. 4 points.
Now, Victoria Rose Green, she is the granddaughter of Maunga Emery, so she
Wow.
has a direct relation to rugby league royalty in my eyes.
Absolutely.
Of course,
You know,
a
General
relation of
Will
Stacey's
Stacey,
as well.
who's a
And,
Point Chevalier Pirate
there you go.
back in the day. Fantastic run. Great try.
And Maunga Emery, a fair player in his day as well, I understand, and
Yep.
certainly had a big
A
impact on
legend.
Stacey.
Massive. Yep. And highly regarded amongst the Kiwi fraternities, being the Kiwi Rugby League boys. So we're waiting for the kick to come here.
So Wilson just dinks that one over, and Taniwharau lead 36 points to 0. Got about 4.5 minutes to go. And again, similar to the first game, it was a little bit of a lopsided scoreline, but really, really enjoyable rugby league. And, credit to Point Chevalier, who have improved markedly in the second spell.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and if you actually went back and analysed a wee bit, I think territory-wise, Point Chevalier has been down in their part of the waters for most of the match. And a lot of the tries have obviously gone against the grain, where they've been open, wide-ranging, and, going half the field, 60 metres down the field, and putting points on the board as we get ready for the restart.
Subtle pirate pun from my colleague as well. Waters, pirate, you get it?
Oh, set sail, my friend. Here's another pirate off.
So ended up facing the wrong way for a moment there, spun around, and Point Chevalier retained possession. Nice low down tackle that time. That might have been Rangi Toka involved that time. Here is Karis Falilo Malio, the sister of Sala and Johnny, who we've called for a long time, Troy.
Absolutely.
Sala having a blinder of a season for Mount Albert as well in the Fox.
Oh, he's had an outstanding year.
Maya skips, goes on a little run, finds some success with it as well, takes her team just into attacking territory. 3.5 minutes to play, and Point Chevalier still looking for their first points. That's a brilliant carry. And that is Rona Apulu. They're 35 out from the line now, Point Chevalier. Can they get something going here? Right side they come. Here's Val, who's been heavily involved. Shuffles play on and then links with Kautai, who will kick. It's a high one and a tester here for Taniwharau, who pass it with flying colours. And outside of a couple of drop balls, it's really hard to doubt anything that Taniwharau have done today.
They've been a class act across the field. You know, the little players have played well. They've shifted the ball, you know, and shown speed right through to the last try that we just saw. The Hulk rating run from the number 10 who went basically half the way down the field. Just outstanding play by each and every one of those players. Yeah, and as you've said rightly, Corey, the defence has been the cornerstone for them.
Taniwharau jump out of dummy half now via Wilson. Wilson with a late pass at the line, and she wore a shot for her troubles right on halfway, but they've retained possession here, Taniwharau. Last play now coming up. They look to the heavens. There's no one back there for Point Chevalier. Now there's a little bit of a foot race on through the middle of the park, and they might get there, Taniwharau. Yes, they will. Another one for the team from the Waikato. And that one of the best we've seen today. Straight through the middle with 2 minutes to play, and Taniwharau add another try to the tally, and that was nice to watch.
Absolutely, and look at the Chevalier photos action replay. Nice kick, well weighted, and basically, did she kick for herself? Well, if you ask her, I think you'll hear yes, she did. And at that point, really wasn't looking for a friend. She just pinned her ears back, scored time, 4 points.
And it's a second for Nāmoko Totoriwa. I'm pretty sure that's the number 13. And there's a fair bit of skill involved in that, from the kick and the weighting of it to the pick-up as well. Not easy to pick a football up at full speed like that.
Great rugby league.
So that takes them to 40.
Mate, the way this Taniwharau team's going, they'll be going to a restaurant with the coach.
Get the credit card out, Mike. You know it's coming.
Yeah.
Wilson to attempt the conversion. Flags up again. They've kicked well as well today, Taniwharau. And by the time we get back underway, we might get time for one more set by our count. Big thank you for tuning in today. It's been a real pleasure to bring you the rugby league action today, and a big thank you to our camera crew and the production team. A wonderful job done today coordinating things. The weather gods have been kind to us as well. We are back in action from a live stream point of view on Wednesday, bringing you Westlake up against St Paul's College, and then back in action in the Fox Championship come Saturday, Te Aratu versus Papakura.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And, their top four's been chopping and changing as well. And if you wanted to keep up with all the news around that, make sure you're on the Auckland Rugby League website, because it's fantastic viewing at the moment. Each week it changes, and if you blink, you're going to miss something. Oh, and just drop that cold.
So maybe one more chance here for Taniwharau. There goes the siren. Will we pack down a scrum? No, we will not. Taniwharau dominant, second on the ladder, and looking every bit of competition favourite. They beat Point Chevalier 42 points to 0 in this one, the Fairly Photos Girls Under-18s grade. That concludes our action for today. A big thank you for tuning in. And as I mentioned, we are back in action this Wednesday. Westlake up against St Paul's. We're live from 4 p.m. on that one. Well, Troy, a great day at the office for us. It's been a busy old weekend, but a nice way to finish it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, what a great way to spend a Sunday as we see the girls there. Great camaraderie-ship. As you can think that the Taniwharau girls are absolutely wrapped with their visit to Auckland today. Point Chevalier Pirates, hats off. Even though the score line does not sort of indicate how well they actually did today, the Taniwharau side were absolutely on fire across the park and showed a lot of class. As we get ready for the girls now to shake hands, on behalf of myself, Corey, the commentary team, and the Auckland Rugby League, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the action replays will be available on the ARL TV YouTube channel, and you'll be able to get to that through www.aucklandleague.co.nz. On behalf of all the crew, we'll let you enjoy the rest of Sunday afternoon. And on behalf of ARL, and a big thank you to obviously the Manurewa Marlins for hosting us today at Mountford. It's been absolutely great to be down here, and fantastic football.